What is up, everybody? It's John from the Dads After Dark show. I'm here. We are going to play some Horizon Forbidden West today. Very excited. It's just launching. If you don't know me, we podcast everywhere with the Dads After Dark show. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at NDadsAfterDark. You can find our YouTube channel on youtube.com/dadsafterdarkshow. We do 30-second reviews there. But this is going to be a first look at Horizon Forbidden West. This is published by PlayStation Studios, developed by Guerilla Games. They are the developers of Killzone and Horizon. As far as I know, that's it. They're owned by PlayStation, but this is the second game in the Horizon franchise, and first one was very well received. It came out the same week as Breath of the Wild, so here we go.
Through a lifetime spent in the pursuit of knowledge, one question consumed me. How did our world come to be? The old ones perished 1,000 years ago, triggering the extinction of all life. She showed me how it was reborn. A little outcast girl, ignorant of her own importance. Through her, I learned that life was only saved through a technological miracle. Zero Dawn. A terraforming system composed of 9 subordinate functions, each playing its part to reshape Earth from a barren rock to a lush landscape. Tended and protected by the machines. And with her, I learned the deepest secret of them all. The secret of her birth. That she is a clone of Elizabeth Subek, Zero Dawn's creator. Born to prevent a new extinction. Driven by Hades, a malevolent AI. Given sentience by a mysterious signal of unknown origin. And with a little help from me, she prevailed in a great battle at the city of Meridian, becoming a champion for all humankind. But as useful as she has been, now I must leave her behind. For as she strives to put right what Hades sundered, I have made a new discovery. One that heralds both destruction and opportunity.
All right, there you go. Ready. So yeah, that's the story. It's a pretty big story. It's a pretty interesting story. There's some parts that get a little confusing. I did play through the first game about 3 or 4 months ago. And it's a good game. I kind of rushed through it, so I didn't love it. I had to rush through it in about 9 days because I was borrowing my son's PlayStation 4. I actually played it on story mode, but I think this time I'll do normal mode. And I really want to replay through the first game. There's actually DLC, which I haven't done. Oh, that's interesting. Minimum HUD on Explorer mode. I'm going to try that. But yeah, I plan on replaying it. I've actually already bought it. And then going through the DLC. But I had to play the sequel day one. Just to avoid some spoilers and all that. But, I mean, it's not like I haven't played the first game. Just kind of want to replay it. Kind of fun that I'm taking part in this day one launch. A week ago, I didn't even own a PS5. So I'm really excited for this one. It's like we'll get some story on what's happening now. And I'm really hoping that we get new tutorialization. I was really bad at combat in the first game. Some new tutorialization. Don't make any assumptions that we played. But seeing the fact that they have rehashed the whole story from the PS4 game, I'm pretty happy that we get a fresh start here, because I really need it.
I'm running out of time. Aloy, Elizabeth,
And that's Aloy.
the land is dying.
She's a cool character. I've said this before, but
People
the
are
voice
suffering.
of Aloy is the voice of Chloe from the
Soon.
Life is Strange series.
They'll starve.
And it was the big reason why I actually did go back and play that first game, you know,
All because of a
nearly 5
terrifying
years after
system
it
that's
came out.
spiraling out of control.
The voice is really the same.
And only I.
And she
can
does a good
fix it.
job of being lighthearted and funny
Only I
throughout
have
the
your
game.
genetic code.
I think these sorts
won't
of
be long
games
before
really
we hit the
require a
point of no
character to
return.
sort of
And then
talk to themselves.
Extinction.
You know, you see
I've
that
been
scene
searching for
in
months
Tomb
for
Raider,
what I need.
Uncharted, and like all of those games.
A
You
backup
don't want to be
of
too
Gaia.
isolated.
the AI
You need
you
someone
designed to
talking to you.
control
In
the
this
system.
case, it's just yourself.
But every time I think I have a lead, it comes to nothing. And every night, I have the same dream. I'm walking under a brilliant night sky, through a field of flowers. And when I arrive at the center, I see you, Elizabeth. Waiting for me.
So this is the
Even though
scientist
you've
that
been
she's
dead for 1,000
basically
years.
cloned from.
You're the closest person I've ever had to a mother.
Which is funny because I remember being confused thinking, well, if she's cloned from her, how come she doesn't know everything that she knows already? But
And for a moment,
it's just a genetic clone, not
I
a
feel
real
whole.
clone.
But it never lasts.
Some really quick cuts in the cinematography. Like a half second of something and then it cuts
I'm always
over.
left alone.
When I do my 30-second reviews, I try to avoid that actually, because it can be visually confusing. It's kind of weird to see it here, but
This world is your legacy, Elizabeth. I won't let it slip away. The valley below is my only remaining lead. My last hope to find the backup. I'll do whatever it takes to get it. I promise.
so we're sort of finding the backup to one of the AIs. I was never fully clear on it, but there's a bunch of AIs. Oh,
Varl?
If it isn't Aloy,
he's from the first game.
savior of Meridian, anointed of the Nora.
You know I hate being called
There's a
that
series
stuff.
of AIs
Well,
that were tasked with
consider it a
restoring the
punishment for
world.
running out on us the very same night we
Guy
beat
is the good
Hades.
one, and like Hades is
I
sort of a
grew up
bad
an
one.
outcast. Remember, I'm not much.
All
for
I'm going to
others.
try to explain.
Yeah,
It's too complicated.
that one was in your honor. Just saying. So, what are we doing?
So this story takes place
Must be urgent since you
pretty
left
much
so
right
fast.
after the first game. There's a celebration
Delving
of their
into
victory in
ancient
the first
ruins?
game, and then I guess she steps away,
Or maybe
and
it
she
has
comes out
something
here
do
to
with the
presumably the Forbidden West, which I think is actually
Both,
referenced in the first game.
Actually, but
But she basically is coming to
I
this
should-
new
Oh,
area because she wants
I've
to
been tracking you
continue
the
her
wrong way.
investigation of what's going on.
okay.
They
After
there's a
everything you've
cliffhanger
done
at
to
the
help
end of the
Nora
game.
and my family,
Not a big one,
I
but
swore an oath to
there's
help
definitely
you,
a hint that
no
there's going to
matter
be a
what.
second
You're
game
stuck
here.
with me now,
And
like bark on wood.
so if I had to guess, this takes place like maybe a week or two after the first game. And it looks like Varl followed her. I'm not sure.
okay.
But it's not a long
But
gap.
If you're going to come with me, you'll need to be able to see what I see.
Okay, so
Focus.
so she's giving him
thought
a
I'd get your
focus.
sight.
I forgot she had another.
I'll give you another one later. And
And what
show
that
you
tells
how to
me
back up
right
your data.
now is that
Data.
This is how they're
information
going to
on the
tutorialize.
device.
Yeah, right.
I've got a lot
She's
to
going to
cover.
explain how to use it
I'll have to explain everything as we go.
to Varl, but really she's explaining it to us. So this is how I love seeing how games tutorialize on their sequels. How do you explain a game? You know, remember Metroid, like how do you have
see like
Samus
this
get
all
all
the
her
time?
stuff again?
Since I was a little girl.
Here they're going to tutorialize by explaining it to Varl. Which hopefully means he doesn't die at the end of the tutorial. Seen that a lot before too. We're done with you. We don't need you anymore. Yeah, this is going to be a very pretty game.
Shall we?
I haven't noticed a big difference between the PlayStation and the Xbox in terms of graphic ability or anything.
I got a couple of
I think
scrapes
where
on
we're
the way
still
here.
seeing it is the difference
We
in
should find
games.
some
And this is going to be a
medicinal plants.
very
Stock up.
colorful, realistic,
So
open
it's
world
time for
game.
your first lesson with the focus.
Sounds good.
The only comparison
Let's
you
get
could
started.
make would be to like a Halo Infinite, but they're just totally different games. And I played a little bit of that, and it doesn't look like this. I didn't get far, but
These plants don't look like the ones in the
both
sacred
systems seem
lands.
to be capable of the same
The
graphics. It's really
focus
just
helps
what you
see the
what you
ones we
do with
need.
it.
There. Those plants by the stream should do the trick.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize they only see this through the focus. I thought that was just the game showing you the stuff you need to pick up. So basically you pick up medicinal items, plants and stuff. That allows you to help that. You can see that in the bottom left corner of the screen. Very pretty water. This is sort of a similar environment to the first game. It definitely looks better. Maybe a little more jungly, but it might be just what I recall. Most of the first game is plains. There's some snowy mountains and stuff. I'm sure there's forest too, but starting here is just it's very pretty. And I imagine we're on a sort of great plateau here where we're going to tutorialize. That's what happened in the first game too. They kind of isolated you to a small area. I'm going to make sure that I know all of the controls, because I really was not good in that first game. I was bad at combat. There was just a lot of the use of my items I was really bad at.
Alright, we should keep going.
Might want to grab more of these plants along the way.
I got it.
Yeah, good idea.
So I'm using this low HUD mode, and you can see that the screen is mostly clear of stuff. I have this item usage thing on the bottom left, and that's yeah, I guess in the radar at the top.
I'll take your word for it.
Definitely helps you to
Those ruins.
see the whole
That's where
world.
we need to go.
I see a few ways down. What are we after exactly?
The backup? Well, it's an AI. It's hard to explain.
It is hard to explain.
Think
Her
of it
hair
like
is very bouncy.
a set of instructions that can fix the world.
Sounds complicated.
Clearly her hair is braided at the top to reduce the amount of animation needed, but they let it
Noticed you're,
flow,
traveling light these
and it's
days.
very bouncy.
Yeah.
What is it, like
I,
Sassoon? What is
ran
the
into some trouble on the way here.
what's the shampoo that makes your hair very bouncy? I don't know. I don't have any
wanna
hair.
put these ropes here, but we can use the line to slide down.
Yes. Jump down the rope. I want to just check here and put it on performance mode. Wow. Okay. I like this. So it defaults to quality. I'm always a big fan of a higher frame rate. And it feels very similar. I'm trying to tell a difference here. I mean, I like this way more. Yeah, I'll take 60 frames a second any day. I'm sure the quality has dropped a little bit, but I'm staying here. I like this.
The light's infecting all the plants.
Why isn't this the default? I think having a higher
Keep
frame rate should
spreading,
be the default.
Nothing will grow.
That's why we have to fix it.
Anywho, get off mic. So this red grass is like a poison in the landscape.
There's
I
more
guess
of the
that's
red
the main
growth
crux
here,
of this
too.
story here, that we need to stop this. I think this is coming from Hades, which is the evil AI. Makes for a very pretty contrast with the grass.
This stuff spreads fast.
6 months ago, the land was fine. Now it's everywhere.
Knox.
Salvaging machine carcasses as usual. And there they go.
Looks like they left a carcass behind.
I didn't see anything. Oh, was it a bird? Alright. When I played the first game during the tutorial, there were people demanding your attention. And, oh, look at that. So if you swipe up on the touchpad in the reduced HUD mode, it'll show you the things you need to see. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, in the tutorial, they would like say, hey, you know, Aloy, come here. And I was like, literally, I couldn't find the person. They weren't standing out in the environment. And it's funny that it just happened there too. I mean, it's just a horizon thing. Can't see. Where? What do you want me to look at? What you can't really see here is that the controller has a really good vibration to it. That's one thing that I've seen as a huge difference between PlayStation and Xbox. The Xbox controller has largely stayed the same across generations, especially between the Xbox One and the Series X and S. But the PlayStation controller had a huge leap forward technologically in this iteration. It has basically HD rumble, and it works really, really well. It probably feels similar to the Nintendo Switch, but I think the HD rumble is only really in the Joy-Cons.
Who else would come?
So this is in the controller, and
We better craft some arrows of our own.
I was playing the
Make the trouble
Astro Bot game
Good thing
and
we already picked
Astro's
up some
Playroom,
Ridgewood.
and you can really feel it. They do a good job with it. And remains to be seen
All right,
how
now to craft some arrows.
PlayStation uses that. Because as we know, Nintendo has usually just done some gimmicky games and then moved on. Remember the 3DS got rid of the 3D and all that jazz. So how much will they embrace this? And I have a feeling we're going to find out pretty quickly because we're now being introduced to the bow and arrow. And this is the other part of the controller that's really great about the PS5, is it has these analog triggers
Me too.
that have
Arrows ready.
a complete haptic feedback, and they can actually change the tension on the triggers. So the
There's a
triggers
ladder.
can feel normal, and the triggers can also
can't
feel
reach
like they're offering a lot of
Nothing
resistance.
a well-placed arrow can't knock free. Just have to target the lock.
Let's see how this is. I need to grab some wood here. I think this is from the first game. The trees and the plants do look different from the first game, but it's essentially the same mechanic. And then you make your arrows. Always got to shoot these ladders down.
That lock is really
Oh.
stuck, huh?
Oh yeah.
I just need to land one full-drawn shot.
Oh, this feels great. Yeah. So the left trigger, you just press down, it feels normal, and the right trigger offers tension because that's the one you're using to actually pull the bow and fire the shot. So yeah, it feels really good. I really love this. Sony hasn't always been a big innovator. They've kind of stolen a lot from Nintendo over the years. They, you know, they went with the dual sticks
The
after the
transmission.
PlayStation 1 came out, and that was definitely very
Yeah.
cool.
Message.
But this controller is
Didn't say.
definitely a huge innovation. I feel
Only
like
bit of backup might be here.
every controller needs to have
We need
these
to find a way.
sort of analog triggers. They're really great.
So, what happened after I left Meridian?
Plus, the Xbox controller
Well, there was a
vibrates
fuss when
way
people
too
realized
strong.
you
It
were
goes from like
gone.
0 to 60 in a split
Then
second.
some of us figured you only
If you
would
ever
have
leave
left
your
if it was for
controller
something important.
on a table while you're watching
You're
a
right
game,
about that.
you'll know. Find an entrance to the ancient ruins. Well, where are they? I'm definitely going to be in full-on horde mode at the beginning of this game. That's how I tend to play the open worlds. Get everything, horde around, learn the mechanics. Because once you're off the plateau, it doesn't get easier. So make sure you're comfortable with everything in this game. There's a lot of wood around here. That's what she said.
Dead end, Aloy.
Okay, pry open the car. Nice. Kind of a new thing. Kind of funny to make
Find anything good?
car trunks chests now. Didn't feel particularly haptic-y there. Where am I going here? Gather jungle. Oh, okay, that's pepper. I mean, there's definitely crafting in this game. A lot of crafting. But they make it really easy to craft. You don't have to, like, craft at a table. At least not the major things. You can craft them, like, in the middle of a battle. You can craft some arrows. It's basically instantaneous. Which is nice.
Aloy, over here.
Oh, finally.
Maybe we can get into the ruin this way.
I like crafting mechanics. I don't like when games get too crazy with it. I also like when I'm able to buy stuff in case I can't craft. Which I do a lot in Pokemon games. Especially Arceus there. Just buy all the Pokeballs. I'm trying to get up here. Now Horizon has like jumping and climbing mechanics like Tomb Raider. It always felt a little trickier. Most games have that sort of de facto, I don't know how they agreed on it, but they did, like white paint always denotes where you can grab onto a ledge or climb up a wall. Horizon uses a different color, that's what I remember. But there is so much richness to the environment. I mean, just look as I'm turning around here. There's so much richness to the environment. We've got red grass and green and yellow and the trees and the sand. There's so much color. It actually is very visually distracting. It's hard to identify things in the environment. And so I had that trouble just trying to climb big structures where they're all mossy and just so rich. It's hard to find the handholds of where to go. So there'll be times in this game where I'm just like, how do I get up this cliff? I don't see where to go. Sometimes having too rich of graphics can be a detriment. Her hair is really jumpy. Did I mention that? I did. I mean, look at it. Look at it. It's maybe a little too jumpy. Hair, I mean, especially hair that long has some gravity to it. There's no reason it should be that jumpy. Garbage game. I want a refund.
Down this way. Get to the grass.
Never seen one of those before.
So bad at this. Very cool.
Instead, machines have it on alert.
How do you want to handle it?
The focus can help us.
So I like to call these mechanical animals.
Before we make our move.
They're all over in the first game too. It's the primary villain. There's people too, at least there were in the first game. But these mechanical animals, they come in different forms. They all have kind of real-world equivalents. But there is this concept of using your focus, like I'm doing, to sort of
Those are its weak spots.
analyze the thing. and it'll reveal their weak spots. You see these yellow
weak spot.
areas on them?
Right.
So basically we want to shoot those with a bow and arrow. And you have these other ways of affecting them as well. Lots of different alternate weapons and that sort of thing. And you have a spear. So see, I hit the weak spot. But you have to hit it sometimes more than once to, like, break it off. Once you break it off, it's like breaking their shield. And he's just going to go in there now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. This is what happened to me in the first game. I am terrible at this. I don't know how to dodge yet. Okay, see, I broke off the shield. And he's dead. So you have to kind of methodically approach these things. You can't just shoot them. You have to hit the weak spots to weaken them. If you just hit them without damaging the shields, you'll take damage down, but it's way slower. And it did lead to me just avoiding a lot of these fights early on. When you are crossing an open world, you just don't want to deal with these guys. Oh my gosh. These are the first enemies of the game? No, he's still alive. How do I use the spear? If I die, I swear. If I die, I swear. There we go.
How does the Focus know all that?
It reads data on the machine.
Like a hunter studying its prey?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm really liking how they're doing this. Like, by having this other character you gave a focus to,
So after the
she can
fuss
explain
over
everything
leaving,
from the first game all over
what did
again,
everyone else do?
without it feeling like
Well, as soon as
repetitive.
the celebration was over, my mother led the rest of the Nora home. The Sun King put his people to work rebuilding the city, and I set out to find you. Someone shot this machine too.
Yeah, there really is a lot of wood here. I'm just gonna grab all of it. Am I hitting my limit? I mean, your primary weapon is the bow and arrow, so you need to have lots of wood and make lots of arrows. We don't have guns here. Okay, so there's the dodge. That's circle. Jump is X. And crouch is square, oddly. But pressing in on the L stick is your run button, which is pretty common. I'm trying to think of what crouching usually is. Sometimes it's actually pressing the button, right? I think Breath of the Wild was like that. I'm not sure what I like better. I still feel like I always like holding the bottom button to run. But in Breath of the Wild, the jump button was the top button. And that felt unnatural when you wanted to run and jump. But they just made sure that after you let go of the run button, you kept running a little bit. So I guess I liked it, but...
Another ladder. I need to shoot off the lock.
Oh, cool. I like a good reason to use the bow and arrow. Feels really good.
Got it.
So in these games, who resets the ladders? Who pulls a ladder up and locks it? It's a common trope, but really, who's doing these things?
You said you've had a Focus since you were a child, right?
Yeah. Found my first one when I fell into a ruin. Got the others from an old cache not long ago. It's good to have extras.
So this voice actress, her name is Ashley Burke. She's one of the few voice actors I know by name. So she not only does Aloy, and she not only does Chloe, she is also Tiny Tina. And so she's coming up in what, Tiny Tina's Wonderland? It's like a Borderlands spinoff. I'm not a Borderlands player, but she is
some tech trades with Zero Dawn, but
becoming a very popular top
why would they
voice
have a
actor
backup of
very
Gaia?
quickly.
Please register with reception for the tour.
I guess they want us to check in with them?
This is kind of the
Please
cool
hold for
stuff
identiscan.
of this mythos.
Access denied. Please wait here for personnel to assist you.
Ah,
Dr. Sobek.
Okay.
That is the woman that she was dreaming
Guess they
about
weren't on
before,
great terms with Elizabeth.
that she is a clone of.
Well, let's find a way in.
That there is very much a jungle culture here, kind of like Last of Us, right? Everything's overgrown, everything's old. The world as we know it is basically 1,000 years old, and it all died off. And now there's sort of new life, but there's still this sort of overgrown old timing. But then you also see these like live machines that are still usable. I find it a little weird. It's like, wait, where's the power coming from these things? But it's sort of mixed in, so it makes for a really cool aesthetic, even if it maybe doesn't make the most sense. I mean, there's a reason why the whole world is overgrown, and that would naturally probably affect power. So it's half primitive, half futuristic.
Whoever left this here might have also shot those machines we found earlier.
So where are they now?
Little charge shot there.
Stench.
Got to stay in practice.
Entire camp wiped out.
Oh, good. I don't have to
Couldn't
kill
even
everybody.
for scrap.
Somebody did it for me.
Acid. That explains the smell. And it looks like something big came in from above.
Does it?
Right through the
It's
camp.
just a hole.
Through the wall. I should take a look at the rubble in that gap.
I like when characters talk to themselves and basically tell you what to do. Yeah.
Whatever came through here brought this down as it went out. If I can dislodge some of the debris, we might be able to squeeze through. Maybe I can find something to help in the camp.
Aloy, over here.
Well, we used to have a
I
tool.
think I got something. It's some kind of Osram prototype, I think. This hook
I don't know
looks
what
like
that
it
is.
can latch onto things.
So funnily enough, I don't really have
Must
any
be a
of my
piece of
equipment
back.
from the first game.
It looks broken, but maybe we can repair it. Hook it to the debris.
Except for my
Pull it out. That could
bow
work.
and my spear and my
The
focus.
Focus can help us search the camp and identify anything we can use to fix the tool.
Like, thank you. I think that's all I have. And my clothes.
My focus
But I don't
picked
think I
up
have
a couple
anything
of
else.
things to check out.
Poor guy. Acid burned right through his armor.
And I'm just like picking all this stuff up. It always asks you if you want to take all of it. I always found that annoying. Yes, I want all of it. I know there's limits in your satchel and at some point, but
Part of the machine.
I wish they just
Could
let
help
you
fix the gears.
pick up all of it when that's perfectly allowable. I want everything. I'm a hoarder. So with the focus, there is, if you just tap the button, the right stick, you will get like a scan,
Machine cable.
like sort of like Tomb
Stronger
Raider,
than rope.
sort of
Right.
like
I think I
Valhalla.
have what I need to repair
You'll
the
get a
tool,
scan of the environment and you'll kind of see some
or
things
maybe
around.
even make something better.
If I hold it down,
Use this workbench.
that's when I go into sort of the sphere. And the sphere is weird because when you have the sphere, you can see more and you can see a longer distance, but it's really slow. Walking around... Oh, I'm going to build the polecaster again. That's from the first game. But when you're in the sphere, you're much slower. Turning is slower, so you don't want to keep it on. I think that's part of what it is. Like, they don't want you having it on all the time. It's overpowered, I guess, in some ways, for information.
There.
So you move very slow, you turn very slow with it on.
Caster.
And I kind of find that a little bit
Now to
annoying.
test it on the debris.
I wish you could just toggle it on and off and just use it. I don't know why they make you hold the button down and then just make you completely slow. So yeah, the polecaster's from the first game. We're going to build another one. And that's going to be used to pull this thing. Okay, so we press triangle to switch. Okay, so we're switching between that and the bow and arrow. That didn't work. Say I can do it. to go. Oh, the target's changing? Wait. Is it just a little piece? Oh. What? Oh. Oh my god, it's like only the little red part? Wow, that is a really small target. That's weird. Why can't I just throw it anywhere? Oh my gosh. So I'm going to theorize you have to hit a very particular point, like right there, so that they can do the cool animation. That's got to be what it is. They have a very specific animation, and you have to hit a very specific part. All right. Well, I'm through there. I'm going to wrap it up here, but I'll have more videos to show some cooler stuff coming up the rest of this weekend. Thanks for sticking around.